Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 worst addictions. And these are addictions, I'm only going to talk about the addictions that I have experienced myself, okay? So, sorry if the title's a little clickbaity and all that, but no, don't you dislike yet. Alright, so we're gonna start. So, S tier is worst, like the worst of the worst addictions. And bottom tier is the best of the addictions. And I'm not going to be saying that any of these addictions are good, but leave it up to you guys. And if you guys are willing to talk about your experience, you could contact me on Twitter at Big Soprano in my description. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 worst addictions in my experience. Okay, so at the very bottom of the tier list, I would say internet is the best addiction. I'm not saying it's the best thing ever made. I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever made. I am just saying it's the least harmful of any of these. And yeah, the internet could be a very terrible place, full of internet crime like doxing and all that, and bullying, and all that. The internet could be a very bad place sometimes. But in my experience, the internet is the least of my worries when it comes to addictions. Honestly, I'd say I am addicted to the internet. I just like letting my friends know that I'm always online, I'm always here to talk, and I just want to have a fun time, like, calling and all that. So the internet is not very bad in my experience. And, if you're just starting out making a YouTube channel, just keep creating because something's gonna stick. That's what Kid Cudi said, and it couldn't be truer, okay? Anyways, the second on the tier list is social media. So, social media is in C tier. It could be, for me, I've had, mixed experience with social media, and this may be a similar entry compared to the internet, but I meant internet as a whole. But social media, it may very well be an addiction. It's not as bad as, like my English teacher said, putting up these stupid ass biased documentaries about how social media is bad and all that. Like, obviously, social media is bad. And I used to crave likes on Instagram, that I would keep checking my phone like every 5 minutes to see if my new post got a new like and all that. So I had positive and bad experiences with social media. Like I straight up fell off on one of them. And I had the biggest fall off out of my entire friend group when it comes to the internet. And it's not even anything I did wrong. It's just my interest changed for temporarily in that time. And the people who followed me for Mario content did not want to see this new bullshit content. Okay, so in social media, yeah, it may be similar to the internet entry, but social media, it's like good and bad. Like sometimes I could get into a heated argument with my friend. It's just so easy to spew bullshit on social media, and I'm always on social media, so social media is not necessarily a good thing, but I'll just leave that for you guys to decide. So next on the list is actually nicotine. So people may be wondering why I didn't rank this higher. Well, the only withdrawals I experienced from nicotine, and this is the only bad part about my nicotine addiction, I'd say, other than like lung cancer and all that, but I don't know anyone with lung cancer, and to be frank, I don't know that much about it. But in my experience, the bad part about nicotine is experiencing withdrawals, and that just makes me, very, the smallest trigger could set me off. like over text, but not like in person. I have enough self-control to not be set off in person. But let's say online or on iMessage, I very well could be easily set off by something when I am experiencing or when I am not, consuming any nicotine. So, yeah, nicotine may give you, inhaling nicotine or vaping or smoking. This goes for vaping and smoking. It could give you lung cancer, but I do not have any experience with lung cancer, so I put it in C tier. Okay? So, the next on the list is caffeine. So, caffeine is probably one of my favorite ones on here. And caffeine withdrawals could be very bad, but I haven't experienced that in years. And I could probably say I am addicted to caffeine, but I don't really experience any withdrawals anymore as I would when I used to drink coffee every single day in high school. And then I stopped during the pandemic or something, and I just feel like shit. I feel drowsy. I feel like very tired, especially mentally. Okay. So, next on the list is food addiction. I'd put that in B tier because it's kind of up to you whether you lose some weight or gain some weight or not. I know it's very hard for some people to lose and gain weight. So I know it's very hard for people to do that, but there's a lot of shame when it comes to being fat these days, and it's up to you, it's your choice. You could do whatever you want, and there are health concerns that comes from being fat and all that. So that's why it's a little higher up on the tier list. But next on the tier list, also in B tier, is gambling. So I've had enough secondhand experience with gambling to know that the odds of winning are very, very fucking low. And these, I haven't seen like a big amount of money spent on gambling, personally. But I have seen like multiple losses and probably only like 3 wins. And gambling could be a very tricky one because you could spend your entire house on it and lose your entire house thanks to gambling. So that's why it's in B tier, because it's a bit more risky than the other ones, And then now we're in tier S. So this is the worst of the worst. So right here I would put porn. Porn really just does rot your brain. Porn will make you see women or men, whatever your preference is. It'll make you see them in very different ways that are very harmful to people around you and yourself. I'd say mainly it's harmful to yourself because, well, if you have self-control, that is. If you have self-control, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. The only harm you're doing by watching porn is harming yourself mentally. So that's why I put porn as one of the worst ones. The next one is drinking in S tier. So I don't know, social drinking is perfectly fine, and I'm fine with drinking a few beers. But I do not like getting absolutely shit-faced, because that just makes me look like a complete idiot, and I embarrassed myself like very hard last time I drank that much and all that. So drinking is probably one of the most embarrassing addictions out there if you get shit-faced every night. So that's why, and I personally just have negative experiences with it. So that's why drinking is an S tier. And the next one is weed. So weed does give me psychosis, but that doesn't really affect this ranking. Because back when I did smoke weed, I did nothing with my life, and I wasn't doing shit, and my mental health was just on a very steep decline. Like, if you just smoke weed, your mental health declines very fast, and I do not want to feel how I did mentally when I was smoking weed. So, and weed could also make you violent, in case you didn't know. And I'm not trying to cancel weed or anything, but just be aware of that, okay? So, lastly, I put cocaine in S tier, because cocaine is probably one of the deadliest addictions. There's a very high death rate when it comes to cocaine, and if you're snorting that shit, you're gonna want to get off of it as quick as possible. And I was still experiencing the effects of like cocaine on my mental health until like a few months ago, and it's already well over a year since I first snorted cocaine. So that's why cocaine is in the worst of the worst addictions on my list in my experience, okay? So here's the final tier list for everyone to look at. And today's comment of the day is from Togi Piss. He said, I was also around 4 when Mario Kart Wii came out. That's crazy. Based on all the crazy life experiences you've had, I would have guessed that you're at least a few years older. The way you've been able to make the best of your circumstances is really inspiring. I love your videos, dude. Keep it up. Thank you for the very heartfelt comment. Because it happens sometimes, but not often do people celebrate my limitations or circumstances in life, and I'm making the best of it as much as I do. So I really appreciate the comment. I hope you have a very good day, and I wish all my viewers to subscribe and have a very good day. Peace the fuck out.